what I can help do is to take all that information that you've been reading about online and in parenting books and apply it to your family and to help you sort out, what you think is important for your kids.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Elisabeth Stitt. Previously, episode 185 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast, which was just about 2 years, 8 months, 3 days, 16 hours, and 30 minutes ago.
Love your children to pieces and just trust that your children will be fine.
That was then. This is now. Elisabeth, how are you doing? Where are you in the world right now?
Hi, Angel. I am at home in Mountain View, California, which is Google headquarters.
Oh, sounds like fun, yeah. It is fun, isn't it?
It is fun. Yes, absolutely. Why not?
The technology advancements that are going on in that particular area is pretty fascinating, isn't it?
I am not the most technological person, but...
Fair enough. So what's new? The last time we spoke, you were a parenting coach. Are you doing that still?
I am still doing that, indeed.
That's good to hear. Open that up for us and express exactly how you offer your services, please.
Well, thank you for asking. I connect with parents in a variety of ways, certainly through one-on-one coaching, either on the phone or Zoom. I use a lot of Zoom. Or if they're here in the Valley, I love to meet with them in person. And, one-on-one coaching is this fabulous opportunity to really examine and look at your parenting and to kind of course correct as you go along. As an expert, what I can help do is to take all that information that you've been reading about online and in parenting books and apply it to your family and to help you sort out, which really is most in line with your values and what you think is important for your kids.
Where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
To connect with me, my web page is a good site, a good start, my website. I also think that signing up for my weekly blog, weekly newsletter is great because it kind of gives you a taste of what my biases are and what is the angle that I'm coming to parenting from. And that helps you decide, is Elisabeth somebody that I would like to have as an influence in my life? Or do I want to unsubscribe because I really don't agree with what she says?
It's a good filtration, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
You were known as the Kid Whisperer when we last spoke, which I love the name, the Kid Whisperer.
Yeah, that's true. That, I calculated this. I have spent over 50,000 hours in direct contact with children. Yeah.
Have you calculated how much is like over Zoom virtually?
No, because that's always with the parents,
Okay.
right? So that's in guiding parents. But just in terms of FaceTime in front of children, and even though my kids are in their early 20s, but I continue to babysit 2 or 3 times a week in order to continue to have that check-in and that reality, right?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to sit in your office and to write about the idealism of what parenting might look like, and then it's quite another to be facing a 4-year-old who's looking at you saying, no.
So you're babysitting the grandchildren, yeah?
It's not grandchildren yet. Bite your tongue.
Bitten. Considered bitten.
But no, in the community, I babysit.
Oh, that's amazing. I know that you were divorced and then you were remarried and you inherited stepchildren as well. And that created a scenario where you, again, were taking care of other people's children, right?
Yes, I think at some point they're my children, but
at one point they were. Yes,
they are other people's children. Yes.
Yeah, and it's really intriguing how you've stay connected to who you are and how you provide your services. You walk the talk, don't you?
That's the babysitting helps me to do that. Yeah, it helps me to really stand in the parent's shoes and to remember, what it feels like to just like, I want this to be easy and it's not easy. So
I think as
Okay.
parents, we can all say that. Like, yeah, could it just be easy? When you look back at the first 10,000 hours you did and the space between now to then the 50,000 you've done, would you say that there are major differences within the children that you worked with, that generation and this generation?
I certainly think that yes, that
Mm,
and probably the key there is the amount of anxiety that children are feeling. So, for example, it used to be that if like if a child was having a hard time leaving a parent and separating from a parent, like a babysitter comes in and the child is having a very very hard time, I used to usually see kind of a corresponding anxiety in the parent, that the child was upset, but I could feel this ambivalence in the parent about like, oh, is it okay for me to be leaving the child? Is it okay? Maybe I should stay home. And now I deal with parents, and the parents are really pretty great and pretty clear about like, hey, sweetie, it's okay. You're here with Elisabeth. You're safe. It's wonderful. We're going to go and we'll be back.
mm,
And still, the children are exhibiting much higher levels of sort of just systematic, like whole body anxiety that I don't think used to be there. Like that the sort of flow and the come and the easy go and the trust that, what my parents doing is right used to be there. And it's funny because I think that we have so much anxiety in society
mm.
that the children are almost breathing it in. Even, I mean, we hope that parents are the primary influencers. And indeed, if parents can be calm and confident and straightforward about things, that definitely makes it easier. But that's what's been surprising is seeing that even when parents are presenting themselves that way, that there's still a higher level of anxiety in children than there was, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
That's intriguing. What would you sum it up to then? If it's not the parents, what would you sum it up to?
I mean, I suppose that you can look at certainly in the United States as a whole, sort of levels of concern and, where is the world headed? I think that always plays some part of it. But
Mm,
the anxiety cycle has been bigger than that, bigger than, say, presidential elections or coming in and out.
mm,
I think the economics definitely plays a piece in it. The fact that ever more in the United States, people feel the difference between the haves and the have nots. And that makes the pressure to be a have and to get your children ready and prepared
mm.
for, you're really trying to make sure that they are in that have category rather than that have not category. And then we read articles that say that, this generation of children are going to have a lower standard of living than the previous level. And, we want the best for our children. So to sort of be told on the evening news that, like, well, hey, you really can't expect your children to have the same standard of living that you have, I think makes you a little anxious and a little bit driven to go like, no, I'm going to beat that. My child isn't going to be part of that pool that
Mm.
doesn't have as good a standard of living.
Which keys in the two concepts you spoke about that are very necessary, which is support and empathy. There's a difference between remaining calm, having a calm outlook, and the support that will be required. Because I'm guessing the individual who is taken up on providing and making sure something is there for their children that they are afraid may be missed isn't able to give the true support that's required. Would you agree with that?
I think what you're saying is that we get so driven by the agenda and
Yes.
by the long term fear that we stop being present in the
Yes,
moment.
yes, well said. Yes, you agree with that.
I do agree with that.
Hmm. Now, your husband was a guy that was looking at political TV. You said he has it on. He is that guy, right?
He is that guy.
He
It is
still is
always
that
on.
guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. We can agree that it's definitely on a higher level than it has ever been in the United States. While there, it's one of the consistent themes I experienced, individuals expressing the political atmosphere that was occurring at this time that we're in. So yes, again, you are a teacher still, or you left teaching and you came into parenting coaching full time. That's correct, right?
That's correct, Angel. Yeah.
Wonderful. The joyful parenting coach. And we did speak about that a bit. Like, are those two words supposed to go together? Joyful and parenting.
I know. I've had people like literally snort when I say, I'm Elisabeth Stitt of Joyful Parenting Coaching. And they go, yes, like the sound that's come out of their mouth is like, right, those things don't go together. And, of course, that's my aim for parents, is that I believe 100% that those things should go together. And the day-to-day job of parenting is never going to not be exhausting. It just is a lot of work, right? Children have a lot of energy, and so they require a lot of energy. But I do not see any reason in the world why, on the whole, we should not be getting to the end of the day and saying, wasn't that a great day with my kids? Boy, that was fun. Like dinner was fun tonight. That was so nice. Or, oh yeah, reading bedtime stories. That gave me so much pleasure. That was so sweet. Or, I had a conversation with my little one today and I was able to like just see the world through his eyes, and boy, that made my day better.
Elisabeth, I want to interject here and say thank you, my friend. It really brings joy to hear how you have stuck through to the thing that you're most passionate about. I am your podcast accountability partner, just checking in after a couple of years, and it's really, really inspiring and motivating to see someone choose a path and stick to it. So I want to say thank you. In closing, my friend, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, just I wanted to give you a shout out. I've loved watching and hearing and your journey, and the work that you're doing just continues to inspire me in turn.
I appreciate that. A pleasure I treasure. Elisabeth Stitt, again, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.